What is a typical day of a Chief Justice of India?
Well, there are different characters, human characters, right? So there is no one paradigm. Right from the time that I was a young child, I started my day very early. And the day became progressively more and more and more early. So, as a Chief Justice of India, I would begin my day at 3:30 in the morning. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. The body clock was just attuned to to waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I didn't go to court at 3:30 in the morning, but I began my day with a little bit of exercise, whether it was nice brisk walk until the Delhi pollution suddenly descended. And then, the physicians you consult say, for heaven's sake, we could rather do with a little bit extra weight, but we'd have a serious problem if your lungs get into disuse, so don't go out. But then you do yoga at home with the air purifiers on. So first part would be, just an hour of exercise, an hour in meditation and prayer. But before 6 o'clock, I would be at my table, reading through cases for the day. So sometimes I would even skip my exercise because I found that the files were just too many, and sometimes very critical files. I would say, okay, today no exercise. I'll just straight away get down to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, then take a break for a little hour and make puja. And puja was never compromised because prayer was for me absolutely non-negotiable. 9:30, go to court. There would be 16 registrars, senior registrars from technology, judicial, administration, vigilance, all waiting for early morning instructions, a little bit of camaraderie. 10:05, we would all go to the judges' lounge. All the 34 judges assemble in the judges' lounge. And that was the time of bonding, of leadership. You talk to colleagues, some colleagues, are having a health problem. You go to them and put their arm around them. Judges all call themselves brother and sister, and I dispensed with that. I began calling all colleagues by their first name. It didn't apply in the reverse. They still called me chief, including some colleagues who my classmates. Doctor, we have this unique distinction. We have 4 judges of the Supreme Court at one time who came from the same section of the campus law center. Me, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice Ravindra Bhatt, and Justice Rishikesh Roy. Delhi, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Assam. So we were 4 of us. And outside, they would call me by my nickname. But in the court, in our meetings in the collegium, they would call me chief. And so we'd break at 10:30, go to court. 10:30 to 1 would be the first sitting of the court. I would have lunch between 1 and 1:07 to be precise. At 1:10, I would be back on my table when everybody else was having their lunch, because that gave me my peaceful time to just think about what to do in the afternoon, deal with my e-files. All my administrative files were brought to me on e-office, so I would sit down alone and check out my e-files. Go back to court at 2 o'clock. Court rises in the Supreme Court at 4 o'clock. Sometimes, I would sit till 5, 6, but on a typical day when I got up at 4 o'clock, the judges would, the 2 or 3 judges who are sitting with you, or sometimes if it was a bench of 5, invite them over to my chamber for a coffee. And again, we'd talk some serious stuff about what was argued, which way we should be going in this case, a little bit of fun and games. By about 4:15 to 4:30, they would all leave for home. When they left for home at 4:30, my real day as the Chief Justice, as the administrative head of the Indian judiciary would begin. Appointments to high courts, appointments to Supreme Court, vacancies in the district judiciary, infrastructure, budgeting, technology, presentations on technology. I would have a technology presentation every evening because that was key to my mission. Different registrars, coming with different work. I had a broad diversity of registrars. The registrars are typically district judges who come to the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice of India brings them in. So I had a lot of women from different parts of the country because I wanted to give women a very pride of place in the administration of the Supreme Court. And this would go on from roughly 4:30 in the evening to 9 o'clock at night. In between, my wife would call me up and say, listen, it's winter, please come home and have your dinner and then go back to work. But I would sometimes listen, sometimes, the work just got the better of me. Go home, have a bite, and after dinner, again sit down to edit, your judgments which had been delivered during the day, the orders which were pronounced. The smaller orders you would sign in the evening so that they could be uploaded on the internet, particularly where bail is involved. You want that under trial to be released on bail in the night, so which means it has to be uploaded on the internet by the evening. And that would go on till midnight, honestly. There were times when, say, I was meeting a senior governmental functionary on appointments. They would request for appointments at 10 o'clock at night, or conversations would go till 1 o'clock in the night. But on an average day, I would, retire for the night at around midnight, read something, because, you just want to, allow your mind to calm down. Otherwise, you go back, and for those 3 hours that you're sleeping, your mind is again thinking about the work which you did. So I would either go onto YouTube, listen to some nice ghazal. I'm very fond of Western pop music, Indian classical music. So, just sort of listen to some music on the headphones, so on and so forth. And wake up the next morning at 3:30. So this went on for all the 2 years that I was a judge. So I did have a sleep deficit, which I'm now getting over.